Did you know bullying affects 1 in 5 kids, yet only 40% report it? That means most stay stuck, replaying the same pain in their heads, sometimes for decades. I was one of them, until I broke free with 5 strategies that turned my pain into power. If the taunts left you scarred, this is for you. Let's conquer it. That endless echo of dumb taunts or the snicker after a stutter. Bullying doesn't just hurt in the moment, it rewires your brain for fear. Studies show victims face 50% higher anxiety risk long term. In my story, it started small. Rabbit teeth jokes that I laughed off at first, then stolen homework. Then the day someone dumped my bag in the hallway while whispers chased me to class. By the time I sat down, my hands were shaking so badly I couldn't even write my name. And here's the thing. Most people don't realize. The bruise fades, but the pattern stays. Soon, you start making choices not from possibility, but from protection. I avoided speaking in groups. I'd sit in the back of class, head down, pretending to take notes, while silently rehearsing answers I'd never give. What if that echo is still shaping your choices today? Who you talk to, the jobs you go for, the relationships you think you deserve. It almost broke me. I went from a kid who dreamed of becoming a footballer to someone who expected failure before I even tried. Mornings were dread. Afternoons were reliving the hits. Evenings were me asking, why me, into the dark. But here's the twist. Pain can be power if you flip it. Ready to see how? Strategy 1. Acknowledge and journal the pain. Write what hurt and why every day. Harvard research shows journaling reduces stress by up to 30% by processing emotions instead of letting them fester. I'd sit with a notebook at night, describing exactly how a bully's laugh made my chest tighten, how my hands went cold when I saw their group in the hallway. At first, it hurt more. Then something shifted. I started to see patterns, and those patterns gave me a strange sense of control. Ask yourself, what pain will you own? Or is it still buried where it keeps growing? Owning the pain didn't make it disappear overnight, but it freed up space for growth. Suddenly the pain felt temporary, not like my identity. Strategy 2. Reframe scars as strengths. Shift from they broke me to they built my grit, my stutter. Once my greatest shame became my speaking power. Instead of that taunt crushed me, I wrote, that taunt taught me empathy. That reframe made me a better listener and leader. Mindset studies show reframing increases persistence by 20%. Enough to tip you from quitting to pushing through. Here's a challenge. Tonight, take one painful memory and rewrite it as a training moment. Tomorrow, notice how it changes your energy. Most people stop here. They own and reframe, but still feel alone in the fight. That's where the next 2 strategies changed everything for me. Strategy 3. Find one ally. You don't need a crowd, just one person who gets it. I shared my story with a coach after months of eating lunch alone. It was terrifying. Stutter, sweaty palms, the whole thing. But his words, I believe you, hit like medicine. Social support research shows having just one trusted connection can cut feelings of isolation by 35%. That coach introduced me to a small after-school training group. They weren't perfect, but they listened. For the first time in years, I laughed without scanning the room for danger. Who's the one ally you could reach out to today? Strategy 4. Small daily actions. Fear shrinks when you prove it wrong in tiny doses. My first goal. Say one word in class. Next week, one sentence. A month later, answer a full question. Neuroscience shows small wins release dopamine, reinforcing the belief that I can. Soon, that belief becomes your new baseline. So what's your one small action today? Not tomorrow, today. Now here's where most people think they're done. But between 4 and 5, I found 2 bonus moves that sealed the progress. The first hidden strategy, change the environment. If the cafeteria was where the worst memories lived, I ate outside. If the hallway by the gym meant trouble, I took the long route. Over time, my nervous system calmed enough to try those places again, on my terms. The second hidden tactic, skill stack. I picked skills that gave me identity outside the bullied kid. First it was football, then basketball, then financial numbers. Each skill became a shield. Not to hide, but to stand on. Think of it as building your I'm more than this list. What would you put on yours? The final strategy. Lead your own healing. Make I lead my recovery your mantra. This doesn't mean you do it alone. It means you decide the direction. My turning point was confronting a bully in the library. I said, I'm done hiding. My voice shook, but I didn't look away. They blinked like I'd just spoken a language they didn't understand. They muttered something and left. It wasn't victory in a movie sense, no applause, but I felt taller walking out. Years later, now 25 and working, I volunteered to run a student talk in my old school on anti-bullying. My hands trembled on the mic, But when I finished, two kids came up and said, "You helped me." That moment rewired me more than any journal entry or small win ever could. Therapy studies show people who take active leadership in their recovery reduce relapse into victim patterns by 50%. So here's your open loop. What's the one leadership move you could make this week? Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting. Maybe it's telling your story online. You don't have to feel ready, you have to start. Let's quickly summarize what we discussed today. We've unpacked 5 strategies and 2 hidden ones that took me from hiding to leading. Own the pain, reframe scars, find an ally, take small actions, lead your recovery, and in between, change your environment and stack skills. If I rose from scars, you can too. But it starts with one move. Which will you choose today? Comment your strategy below. You never know who needs to read it. Subscribe for more tools like this. Ring the bell. Keep conquering, friend. You're the hero of this story.